Hey guys, so we are comparing RX 580 versus 1650 Super. So the first game is Horizon Zero Dawn. As you can see here are 51 average FPS and it's 39 on 1650 Super. I was shocked to see these FPS because it is a very big difference. So I was not expecting this much big difference. I was thinking like it would be like 47 fps in 1650 Super, but it is in fact 35, 37 or maybe 38 fps. It is fluctuating as well. So on Horizon Zero Dawn on ultra settings you can't play this game on 1080p ultra settings on that graphic card, but you can play on high settings as well, but these are for the ultra settings. So yeah, so if you are buying 1650 Super for 1080p high settings, then you can buy that one for all 1080p settings as well, but for ultra settings this card is not made for 1080p ultra settings gaming. So RX 580, you can see it can be played on ultra settings on this card. So yeah, this was the first game. Let's move towards the next one, which is on your screen, which is Shadow of the Tomb Raider. And here we go, Shadow of the Tomb Raider. As you can see on the screen, look at the graphics, look at the textures and the other stuff over here as well. So look at the FPS, 65 fps and still more than 20 fps difference between RX 580 and 1650 Super. Look at the average FPS, 41 and 65. Oh my god, almost 25 fps of difference. And yeah, but this game is very high demanding, graphics demanding, so you can buy RX 580 because that will give you a big and better performance in ultra settings of this game. Okay, so you can see on the screen, and you can see RAM and memory as well over there. So obviously RX 580 is 8GB and that one is not 8GB. So yeah, so here we go. Yeah, you can see the graphics, textures and other things. So the next game is Metro Exodus, and you can see I am running on that settings as well. So look at the average FPS, 45. Okay, here we go. It's 53, 54, 55 in 1650 Super. Finally 1650 Super has beaten up RX 580. But hats off to the AMD because they have made that graphic card with like updates, a better one option. But if you want to play Metro Exodus, just you are a fanboy of Metro Exodus game, then you may go with 1650 Super. But if you want to get overall good graphic card, I will recommend you to buy RX 580. So yeah, you can see the graphics, the textures and the other stuff around here as well. And have a look at all the benchmarks like 1% lows, average FPS, RAM, memory, temperature, CPU, GPU and other stuff as well. So yeah, so that was that thing. So I would just say you should just think before if you are going to buy 1650 Super. Have a look at the FPS and then decide what should you buy. So the next game is Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I'm not testing Assassin's Creed Valhalla on that card, but I'm testing Assassin's Creed Odyssey to just give you example. Look at the average FPS. I am getting 1650, we are getting around 34 FPS. Totally unplayable, not totally unplayable, but in comparison with RX 580 it's totally unplayable. But if we compare it with like gameplay wise, it is playable. It is just lacking such like 2 to 3 frames. You can bear these frames as well if you want to play on 1650 Super. But if you want to play on RX 580, it's 58 fps. It's running very smooth on that settings as I have showed you before. So yeah, RX 580 is the go-to option in this game as well because it is giving us like almost 60 fps. Sometimes it gets 60, sometimes a little bit like 58, 57, and on the other end 1650 Super it is like 32, 33, 35 even. But that is not the go-to option which I will recommend you. So the next game is Battlefield 5. So yes, here we go, Battlefield 5 is here. So as you can see on the screen, it's Battlefield 5 on RX AMD's Radeon RX 580. We are having like 90 fps. Oh my god, That is amazing. On 1650 Super, its average FPS is 60 FPS. So yeah, that is not the go-to choice. So I will definitely not even recommend you to buy RX 1650 Super to play this Battlefield 5 game, because most of the games RX 580 has done a very brilliant job. So yeah, that was my personal suggestion, opinion, whatever you can say. But I will just ask you one thing, that if you have enjoyed this video and if you find this video helpful, then make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel as well, because I always bring these kind of benchmarks videos on the channel. And I have also made a playlist on gaming benchmarks, which you can see on the end screen or in the I button or cards as well. So the next game is Control. So this game is very high demanding, very high graphics demanding, and yeah, it has very detailing and all the stuff you can see. You can judge by its graphics as well. So as you can see, we are getting 45 FPS on RX 580, again 10 more FPS than 1650 Super, because 1650 Super is giving us like just 36 FPS. That is not good. I will never say that is good, because only 60 FPS is better, because on average FPS we are getting 46 FPS on RX 580, and 1650 Super is giving us like 37 FPS. So 47 is more near to 60 FPS, and it will just fluctuate to like 51 as well. So it is playable on RX 580, and you will enjoy the game as well on RX 580. So there is no point to go with 1650 Super. But if Nvidia drops the price like $50, which I don't think so will Nvidia will do that. So yeah, so I will also bring a comparison video of other graphic cards like RX 580 versus 1660 Super as well. So the next game is Hitman 2. OMG man, I love this game. Look at the graphics, look at the textures, look at the shadows and the other stuff. And here we go, we are in India. Oh my god. As you can see, on average FPS 72 FPS on RX 580 graphic card, and on 1650 Super on the other hand we are just getting 59 FPS. Oh my god, literally that is very poor from GTX 1650. I think Nvidia needs to push some updates. If Nvidia will push some update, I will definitely make a video on that as well, and make a video on updated benchmarks as well. But till then you can watch this video as well, because look at the comparison of graphics, look at the usage of GPU, CPU, RAM and other stuff here. And the biggest part is that RX 580 has 8 GB of VRAM. That is the most important thing which we are considering over here as well, because yeah, definitely it helps a lot. So next game is Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. I personally played this game. It's very fun to play. It has high graphics and very fun stuff in this game as well. Overdose, this game is very good. So if we see on RX 580 we are having almost 62-63 FPS, which I will say that is okay. It is good that we are getting over 60 FPS. That is really good. On the other hand, it's 1650 Super, it's 64, so only 1 FPS difference, so that doesn't make sense. And still I will say RX 580 is the king between these two, but there are so many options for 1080p nowadays. But for both of these graphic cards I will just choose RX 580, because it is performing well in most of the titles. So yeah. So on Star Wars Fallen Jedi you can see the RAM, average FPS, 1% lows. On 1% lows it was better. RX 580 was better. So the last game is Need for Speed Heart. Sorry, Need for Speed Heat. I just pronounced it like Heart. So sorry for that. RX 580 its average FPS is 59, and in 1650 it's 49. Oh my god, 10 FPS difference. That is never making sense for Nvidia, because that is not good. I will never recommend to buy RX 580 because RX 580 is better. I will never recommend 1650 Super. I will never recommend 1650 Super, because 1615 Super is not performing that much better in games. RX 580 is giving us more and more FPS. So yeah, this was my conclusion, and make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I will meet you guys in another video with benchmarks of different graphic cards. So see you guys next time. Bye guys.